We will go over to Anish Gawande, the national spokesperson of NCP. It is a high-profile murder in the heart of Mumbai. Anish Gawande, give us your reaction and tell us how is this going to impact the upcoming elections in Maharashtra?
You know, to begin with, I think what has happened is incredibly terrifying. For those of us from Mumbai, we know that Bandra is an incredibly residential neighborhood in the city. This has not happened in the middle of nowhere. This has not happened in the dead of the night. This has happened on Vijayadashmi to a senior leader outside one of the most prominent political leaders' offices in Mumbai. The fact that law and order has descended to this level in Mumbai is shocking and condemnable. I don't want to make any predictions about impacts on elections because, quite honestly, this has been a incident that deserves to be condemned across party lines and not politicized right now. I think we all need to stand with the Siddique family. I think the only reaction I would have at this point, because we've reached this point after many months of frustration with the way the law and order situation, not just in Mumbai but across Maharashtra, has descended into complete chaos. I just think the one demand that needs to be made is that the Home Minister, if he has any sort of conscience left, must resign.
Right, you are saying the Home Minister should resign. Tell us a little bit about, the events leading up to this. We've heard that shots were fired outside Salman Khan's residence earlier in the year. That was a big incident that we covered, again in the heart of Mumbai. And things like this keep happening in the maximum city, the city that attracts a large number of people from across the country and who make it their home because of the work that they do there. So, finding the city in the middle of this chaos, how are the people in Mumbai generally reacting today?
I've grown up in Mumbai. And we've always prided ourselves on being the safest city in the country. For the longest time, this was the safest city in the country. The fact that this attack has happened, that 3 gunshots were heard in the middle of the city and have killed a prominent political leader after multiple warnings were issued of this Lawrence Bishnoi gang operating across the state, just reflects that even when you know that something can happen, you simply do not have the power to prevent it. This is a damning indictment of the fact that our government has failed to protect people even when it knows they are in danger. This was something that was happening completely out of the blue. It was an incident of unprovoked or sort of unplanned violence. I get it. But when you know there's a credible threat, you still fail to protect a leader with Y+ security or Y category security. Let me also remind you that this is the second murder in a week. Just last week, Mr. Kurmi, who is another NCP leader, was murdered in Baikala, in Mumbai. Just a few months ago, Mr. Ghosalkar, a senior UBT leader, was murdered on a Facebook Live. So these are not isolated incidents. These have added up to present a picture that should worry every single Mumbaikar, regardless of what political party you belong to, regardless of what political affiliation you hold. This is a complete collapse of law and order in the city, which is a grim indicator of how bad things can be across the state, because at least this is making headlines. What is not making headlines? What is happening behind the scenes?
Mr. Gawande, do stay on with us. My colleague Radhika Ramaswamy is also on the line with us and wants to ask you a question. Yes, Radhika, please go on.
Anish, of course, you've been pointing fingers at the state government over the collapsing law and order situation. And this is not the first time, as you've been mentioning, that something of this nature has happened, especially in the heart of the city. Of course, while there are allegations happening, what are you demanding at this point? Are you demanding an independent probe? Currently, of course, you have been putting pressure on the state government. So what is your demand? First question. And secondly, the BJP have been saying that this has been used by the opposition as an opportunity to gain political brownie points ahead of elections. How do you respond to that?
I'm not even going to deign the BJP's comments worthy of responding. I think all of us have unequivocally come out in support of Zeeshan and his family. These are relationships that go beyond party lines and go beyond politics. If the BJP wants to think this is politicizing of an incident, let them sort of sing their own tune. As for what the demands are, this is exactly what I said earlier. I think if the Home Minister has a conscience, he should resign. I think elections are coming up in a month. I don't see it fit or necessary to demand any further inquiry. We've seen the complete failure of this government to act on any sort of impartial inquiry. When the Badlapur incident happened, this government and the BJP had the audacity of letting a man who contested on a BJP ticket, Ujjwal Nikam, become the special public prosecutor in the case. Till date, his report is pending. They had the audacity to appoint sort of investigators onto the case who found no links to the school's trustees who are also BJP members. And then they had the audacity to celebrate an encounter killing with posters of the Home Minister and a gun saying Badlapura. This is what happens when you mock law and order, when you let lawlessness run rife, and when you allow the narrative to be set that you can get away with murder in this city. When the Deputy Chief Minister and Home Minister of the state is going to be putting up posters with a gun in his hand saying Badlapura, and the next month there's going to be the killing of a senior political leader on the street of Mumbai, the questions need to be asked to the BJP, not to the opposition.
Right. We also have Pradeep Bhandari, the national spokesperson of BJP. Mr. Bhandari, we've been getting reactions from all political parties, and what they basically are demanding at this hour is the resignation of the Home Minister of the state, because they are not looking at this as an isolated incident, but in lead up to a series of incidents, and now there's a lot of focus on it, primarily because one of the key politicians of Mumbai have been shot and killed. What is your reaction to it?
Well, Risha, what has happened is definitely unfortunate, but I would appeal to my friends in the opposition to not use it as a political tool to score certain brownie points ahead of the elections. The fact is that in less than 24 hours, 2 of the accused have been nabbed and have been caught. The search is there for the 3rd accused. And the Haryana STF is also...
Bhandari, that it in itself is very worrying, the fact that, we've been reporting about shots being fired outside Salman Khan's house, a killing being done during a Facebook Live. Also, several... And these people conducting recce in that area for over 22 days. Aren't all of these incidents very, very disturbing, even for you as a person?
Well, this is definitely a matter of concern, and that is where the Home Minister and the Chief Minister have said that they are monitoring the situation on a day-to-day basis. As I repeat again, the NCP spokesperson was speaking about Badlapur and was trying to politicize Badlapur. So let me not get into that. We've already seen that the Badlapur accused have been caught. It was a matter of inquiry. All of that has happened. On this specific case, 2 accused have been caught. The crime branch is investigating the case from all possible angles. And at this moment, our objective should not be to score a political point of demanding a resignation. Not the objective of my friends in the opposition should be to help and cooperate with the investigation. And if they believe that they have certain inputs, they can definitely give it to the crime branch. We can do politics later after a week. Let us get into ensuring that all of us stand together in this moment.